So Ryan Reynolds plays as some cop that gets killed, sent to the afterlife, then joins a secret organization which polices dead souls. Where have I heard of an idea like that? Okay, in case you haven't already discovered by yourselves by the beginning of this film what this movie really is, R.I.P.D. is basically a Men in Black ripoff, cut, clean, and simple. The only difference is, well, it has just half the effort in my opinion. Now basically what you have is Ryan Reynolds playing as this parent cop who gets killed in action, and then instead of going to the afterlife, he gets teleported to this, say, afterlife department who wants his particular skills in order to police ghosts who have refused to go off into the afterlife and be judged. He gets partnered up with Jeff Bridges, who's apparently this really expert cop, and the two of them basically go on a hunt to door-to-door adventure to find these supposed ghosts and judge them and stop the apocalypse at some point. And okay, well, here's where I'll tell you what worked in the film. I could say that some of the action scenes were actually filmed pretty decently, and I did kind of like the concept when you just read it on paper, but the execution is where this movie just completely falls apart. Now let's try to keep this organized. Now the main two leads of Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges. Now I think both of these two guys are absolutely great actors. You give them the right material and they can give you phenomenal performances. But in this case, Jeff Bridges is clearly the better actor. However, I will say that this time his performance was kind of a rehash of his performance in True Grit, only I could slightly understand him more. I don't see why he has to feel like he has to talk like that in almost all his films, because I know he's capable of so much more. And Ryan Reynolds is an absolutely funny guy who has great talent, but he is not really given much to do in this film. I'm going to give you this just telling to get you prepared if you plan to see this film. You remember that little movie he did a little while back called X-Men Origins, where he played Deadpool for maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes? Well, I promise you this. You will get more out of that quick 10 minutes of him being in that film as Deadpool than you will of him being in this entire film. I'm not kidding. And the chemistry is just non-existent. The chemistry between Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges is the equivalent of me having chemistry with the Cookie Monster. The only thing that me and the Cookie Monster have in common is that we both love cookies. Damn, I hate oatmeal. Anyway, back to the film. Another thing I really didn't like about this film is really the design of the supposed ghosts. These do not look like ghosts. They look like cheap special effect aliens. Literally, I was just thinking as I was watching this film, why isn't this just a side story to MIB? Maybe give us an explanation to some of these other agents. I know that throughout the MIB there's agents J and K, but these could be agents, I don't know, B and R. I don't know, just something. The movie fails at really trying to execute what it's trying to do. It doesn't really put enough effort to difference itself from Men in Black, despite the fact that it clearly has taken a lot of its stronger elements. And another thing that really made this movie just kind of take me out of the moment is, you know in the trailers how they show that Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds' character apparently to their living look like a model in this old Japanese or Asian guy? Well, a lot of things happen with physics that kind of show you them getting hit by things or bouncing off things or just weird stuff, which to the main human would seem very weird, and they never really take time to explain that. So yeah, I hope you guys come up with an explanation for that, because the longer I tried, the more confused I got. And the worst crime this movie brings is that it is simply boring. Now, for those of us who actually have what I like to call a sleep meter, this is how your sleep meter is going to work throughout the entirety of this film. You're going to start off with your movie being fully attention, and then as the movie goes on, you're going to slowly drop and fall asleep, and then something's going to happen, and then it's going to go back down, then something's going to happen, and then it's going to go back down, and then you're going to fall asleep by the end of the damn film. Which is a real shame, because I really hate it when movies just fail to keep my attention. It's a real shame. As you can tell, R.I.P.D. was somewhat of a big disappointment, despite it had amazing potential, but they just didn't put enough effort to make it different from Men in Black. They really could have done so much more. This sounded like an interesting concept, but they just failed to execute it properly. Which is why, unfortunately, I have to give R.I.P.D. a D+. If you want to see it for yourselves, I would just suggest you prepare yourself to be disappointed as I was. If you like this movie review, please like, comment down below, and please subscribe to check me for my future movie and video game reviews. And like always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.